Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 11th of December 2023. So, no real kind of proper videos from me where I'm just sitting here and chatting to camera for a few days. I've just been so ridiculously busy, really attending 3 events in under a week: the Uprise and Shine, the 5G talk that yesterday's video was kind of introducing, the course I went on Friday as well, and then of course you've got all of the editing to do as well when you get home, certainly for the first 2 events anyway. So all of the Uprise and Shine videos are now ready on my Rumble channel. I'll leave a link to one of them, maybe the Mark Devlin talk, in the description box below here, and then from there you can sort of find all of the others on there as well. So they're all ready for you to watch. And Roy's video, you know, the guy who was talking about the 5G effects, his main talk should be ready in the next day or 2 as well. I'm in the process of editing that at the moment. But yeah, a very interesting talk. I think there's more and more concern arising about the possible health effects of that particular technology, and you know, we have to be grateful that there are people like Roy who are doing sort of undertaking studies and looking into this. We've also got others who are doing the same sort of thing. In London, we've got Asif 5G in Merton. He's very much of the same kind of opinion as well. And yeah, really, it's something we all need to look into a bit more. And if these concerns are true, well, obviously we need to be taking steps to ensure that yeah, these masts are sort of stopped from being put up, and sort of yeah, maybe even sort of you know, getting the companies to take them down again. And that's not the only reason why we need to be concerned by 5G. This technology is a major cornerstone in the kind of powers that shouldn't be's agenda 2030, and all of that is going to be heavily reliant on that technology for, you know, all of the surveillance and the future they have in store for us. And you know, if we can sort of scupper the technology, so, you know, bring about legal sort of cases, court cases, which gets it stopped from being rolled out further, that is going to be a major sort of torpedoing of really their sort of flagship of the fleet, as it were. You know, they lose that, it's going to set them back hugely, maybe even scupper their plans altogether. So that's another benefit of, you know, looking into this and seeing what can be done. So anyway, that video will be up very, very soon. The Anna Breeze course on Friday, that was very, very interesting. Now, she seems to be a very polarizing character, judging from the comments I got under the video or 2 that I mentioned her. So roughly half, you know, judging from those comments, roughly half of people who watch me sort of think she's okay, and half, you know, don't trust her, or yeah, this kind of thing. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm sort of neutral, really. I know sort of some comments have sort of said, oh, I can't believe Tim's been taken in by Anna Breeze and all of this. Well, it's not that I've been taken in by anyone. I've got my own mind, and I know that Anna's done things in the past that I wouldn't have necessarily done, and you might not necessarily have done, but obviously yeah, she I think had lost a job in the media. She had she's got a young family to feed, and she's took decisions that probably made sense at the time. Like I say, I wouldn't have necessarily done those things, but who am I to judge? Now, having met her in person, she seems to be, you know, a very sort of genuine, nice person, you know. So I'm happy to give people the benefit of the doubt. And of course, yeah, it was interesting. I know I made a lot of videos, as I've said in the other video, and you know, but I still did learn a fair bit from her. And I think what her kind of philosophy is we've got a lot of people now, I think, who are either coming around to our way of thinking or are on the cusp of it. Now, one of the talks, actually I might put this talk in the description box below from the Uprise Shine. I think I've already put Mark's talk on, but or maybe I'll do both of them in the description box below. But Fergus, who, like I say, was another speaker at the Uprise Shine, he was saying in his talk that there's basically 5 categories of people. You've got the ringleaders, who are the powers that shouldn't be, as I call them. Then you've got the strivers, who are all the people who are going along with the agenda purely for status and financial reasons. So they'd include all of the MP, or most of the MPs, people like doctors, sort of most journalists, and you know, people like that, really. They're just happy to go along with things. And then you got what he calls the normies, who are the sort of main bulk of the population. Then you got the doubters, who are people kind of sensing things are wrong, but not really sort of doing too much about it. And then you've got the last category, which, if you're watching me, you're probably most likely one of the rebels, who kind of know exactly what's going on and are sort of trying our best to you know, sort of get other people on board with what we know, and you know, to sort of grow our numbers, really. So the people I really want to start appealing to are the doubters and people who are perhaps on the cusp of being a doubter and coming on to the rebel sort of side of things, and then people who are sort of what he calls normies, but kind of on the cusp of becoming a doubter. They're just starting to have those first few kind of thoughts that things aren't quite right, and are starting to look into it a bit further. And going back to Anna, she was saying with people like that, because they've been so used to watching mainstream media, the BBC and ITV and all of the rest of it, well, they're not going to go from that kind of slick kind of presentation straight to some bloke just sitting in his van like this with a tatty old fleece on, because I'm in between sort of working jobs at the moment, all my tools in the back there and bits and pieces. Are they? You know, they're not going to make that leap. They want to see something that is talking about things they want to know about, but in a kind of a slick, kind of better presented way, I suppose you could sort of call it. That is one of the reasons why I think Richard Vobes has been so successful in the last year or so. Just as an aside, he's been through the ringer, hasn't he, a little bit? He had some very nasty stomach bug, apparently, and then the bailiffs came around to try and sort of you know, take his van away from him as well, and he was having to deal with those whilst suffering from this horrible stomach bug. So that must have been an absolute nightmare. So hope Richard gets well soon, and he sort of kicks these idiotic bailiffs into touch at the same time as well. But anyway, I think that's one of the reasons why he's been very successful, had massive growth in the last year. It's gone from just over 20,000 subscribers up to near enough 200,000, so like a tenfold increase. And that's because I believe He's appealing to a wider audience, you know, not only sort of rebels, but sort of doubters, and also a few normies as well. And you know, I think that is why he has had this massive growth, because he has got that slick presentation style. And Anna was saying, you know, if we're going to appeal to these people, we need to up our game a little bit. So going into the new year, that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm still going to do these sort of talks to camera in my old working clothes and my van here and everything, but when it comes to maybe interviewing people, I'll sort of try and use some of Anna's techniques to make it a little bit more slick, and hopefully get a few more people who wouldn't necessarily watch all of my videos or even most of them, but they might watch the odd one, and then that might help to make them make the crossover from mainstream to watching, you know, people like Richard Vobes and Unity News Network, David Clues, and then from there kind of going a little bit more to sort of hardcore people who are really calling things out, and you know, sort of maybe eventually to the likes of me as well. So that is really one of the main reasons why I went on that course, just to learn a few tips and tricks. It was a nice day out. It didn't cost very much money either, and yeah, good day out in London, and I really enjoyed it. And like I say, part of the reason I went up there was just to thank Anna personally. It doesn't really matter what you think of her, but if it wasn't for her and her channel inspiring me, this channel wouldn't exist, or there's a lot less likelihood that I would have ever done it if I hadn't have seen all of those people she had on her channel, kind of ordinary people speaking out. So anyway, that is my thoughts on that. And yeah, this video is starting to get up there a little bit time wise, so just thought I'd have a little chat to you. It's been a few days since I've done this, so apologies, but I've been very busy, lots of editing, and like I say, I'm going to finish off Roy's talk and hopefully get that up on here in the next day or two. And I'll also be back hopefully tomorrow with another little chat. So until then, I'll leave you to it, and I'll talk to you soon. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.